The fans have been extremely well behaved here today after the fiasco during the Giants-Chargers battle yesterday. And we're underway in the second half. A big hole by Lou Benfatti.
Sweet Lou.
And he brings it all the way down to the 40. Benfatti, a second-year backup out of Penn State. How about that return? That's the best offensive play all day for the Jets.
When he got the rock, I knew he was going to get busy. Watch this. This is a lineman that has no thoughts about taking a knee. Right here, he's in full stride. And that's sweet form. He's looking pretty sweet there.
Well, he will forever remember this Christmas Eve after that fumble.
Hey, for the first time today, they got field position on a kickoff return.
And a give to Morrell. He gets down to the 41. And how ironic, Benfatti with that kind of return. And of course, the Jets have the leading kickoff return man in Rob Carpenter standing 30 yards back. There was a flag on the play.
Holding. Offense number 68. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Yeah, that should be the center, John Bach, getting called. But going back to Benfatti, yeah, all he needs now is more returns to get up in the average. He might have an incentive on his contract next year.
Or return yards.
Yeah, three or more return with a 10-yard average, and he'll get some money.
Well, back out of field position now. A 1st and 20 for Brister, who starts at quarterback in the second half. And he finds Wayne Corbett. And the rookie gets close to midfield. Stopped right there by Jimmy Spencer.
Richie Kotite told us the other day that the reason this guy is here, Corbett, is because he hung in there all through minicamp and training camp, and he caught the ball. He said every big name guy we got in here and every supposed to be and should be and could be, they all eliminated themselves. They kept dropping the ball, the mistake. He said it just got to a point where, hey, let's play this kid. Let's give him a shot.
Well, he got the start in the preseason finale in Cincinnati. Had 5 receptions, 54 yards. Nearly intercepted. It would have been the 4th for the Saints on the day, and Tyrone Hughes coming up about a foot short.
A great conversation with Tyrone Hughes last night. Here's a guy that coming out of college debate as to whether you play him on offense. And he's talked to the coaching staff and wants to play more offense. And the main deal behind him is his speed. Has led the nation, the NFL, in kickoff returns.
Brister, good protection. Now it begins to break down. And he'll keep it. And slides down at the 42. 8 yards shy of the first down.
See, this is where you lose and you really miss having a big-time burner at wide receiver. Corbett will catch the ball, and Ryan Yarbrough will catch the ball. But those guys are not speed burners. They will not stretch a defense. Therefore, the Saints can sit back in that 4-cross zone and keep everything in front of them, drop the linebackers, and make plays. You got to find a way to embarrass the defense deep. You got to put that fear in their heart.
Well, prior to a 4th down, they just do get the play off. 4th and 9. And Brister able to dump it off to Morrell. But it did not fool Rufus Porter, who made the open field tackle after Ronaldo Turnbull applied the pressure. So on 4th and 9, the drive stalls for the Jets after Benfatti gave them great field position on the second half opening kickoff. And just across the river here at Giants Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, underway in the 3rd quarter. Saints leading 3-0. 1st and 10, very good field position, starting at their own 47. Mario Bates turns the corner, crosses midfield, steps out of bounds shy of a first down by maybe a yard or two. Bates, we talked about in the open, needing 89 yards coming into the game today to eclipse the 1,000-yard mark. He's now rushed 9 times for 32 yards.
funny. You look down the past, the lines of the Saints, and they've had some good running backs. You go back to guys like Chuck Muncie and George Rogers and Reuben Mays, Dalton Hilliard more recently.
Stuffed at the line of scrimmage is Bates this time. It'll bring up third and close to 2. And there's Victor Green again. You know, this Jets defense we were talking about, of course, they were missing Marvin Jones at the beginning of the season. During the preseason, had an ankle injury, missed the first 6. But since Jones returned, they've limited the opposition to under 270 yards a game. And at that pace, it would place them #1 in the NFL in total defense. So Marvin Jones has made a big difference. Well, the play clock winding down, Jim Everett, prior to a 3rd and 2, will spend his first time out in the second half. We'll be right back. Saints in front of the Jets with 11:37 to play in the 3rd quarter, and that might be the happiest man on the field. Matt Brock, his wife Jill, giving birth to the couple's first child earlier this morning in labor 36 hours. And welcome Kendall Elizabeth Brock, born on this Christmas Eve. So congratulations to the Brock family. 3rd and 2, and Everett's going to throw. Wham! Catch made by Lorenzo Neal. Took a shot but hung onto the ball at the 40, first down.
Good job of holding on to the ball. Neal knows he's going to take a pop, and now he takes some verbal abuse from Gary Jones. Neal here is going to sneak out and work up the sidelines. The safety's going to come over, and boy, these are the kind of hits you hope you get a guy that big with his back turned. But once again, the nice touch by Everett. Something that he has done all year long here. Very efficient.
Saints are opening drive of the second half. Mario Bates picks up close to 8. Down to the 32 before again Victor Green made the tackle. Well, you see that Jim Everett breaking his own team record for passing yards in a season set a year ago. And still a chance today to eclipse the 4,000 mark. He's done that one other time in his career, back with the Rams in '89. Bates stopped shy of the first down. Tony Casillas, the man to meet him.
Boy, Casillas has done some bouncing around the last few years. Got that Super Bowl love in Dallas. Then went to Kansas City. Big expectations. There's a guy that seemed like he was good just long enough to get a ring in those couple years at Dallas. And then after that, it's been back on that roller coaster, because he was on that roller coaster when he went to Dallas and Atlanta.
3rd down, catch made for a first down to the 22 by Irv Smith. Second big 3rd down conversion on this drive by the Saints.
Irv Smith on the motion, and the motion is effective to determine man or zone. And then once he finds out what he's in and what the coverage is, he can work away from it. But I noticed one thing the Saints are doing, and that's working on Victor Green. They know he's a big tackler, but now they're going to check out Victor's and see if he can cover. And they've been picking on him quite a bit today.
First down, and Bates dropped in the backfield by Mo Lewis. Well, we tell you that next Sunday, spend your New Year's Eve day with Fox's live coverage of the NFC wild card all over the league. This one of the few spots, no playoff implications involved.
I think every green shirt on that line moved.
Defense, encroachment, number 97. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Well, that's Marvin Washington, but I really, in all fairness to Marvin, you had some help from your friends, bud. Because everybody was offside.
Yeah, how do you just pick out one number?
I don't know. If you're the tallest and they pick you out. Mo Lewis there. There's a guy, the last 3 years, 458 tackles. 138 tackles on the team right now. It's second to Victor Green. And hasn't been to a Pro Bowl, if you can believe that.
Blitz coming and Everett able to get it away, but
and you know,
far for Will.
And it's interesting when you talk to other people around the NFL. I asked my father Elijah in Buffalo last night, who's the guy on this defense you worry about? And Marvin Jones got the team MVP, and since he's been back, everybody talks about him. But he said, my man Mo Lewis is the one we worry about. When I take off the film on Monday, that's the first guy I grade and figure out how we're going to scheme around. And that's another one of my Pro Bowl farces. I don't know how he hasn't been to a Pro Bowl yet.
3rd and 11 at the Jet 25. Everett steps up, throws, and through the hands of Quinn Early. And he had plenty of daylight in front of him had he hung on. So now 4th and 11, and it looks as though Jim Morris says, let's give it a shot.
The assistant coaches walked down the sideline. I saw Jim Haslett, the linebacker coach. He just waved his hand, and about 4 other coaches. Carl Smith there. There's Haslett right there. Carl Smith right there. I think at this point of the season, it's futile to second guess going on 4th down.
Well, they need to get just inside the 14, and they do. Derek Brown all the way to the 5. It'll be 1st and goal Saints. They convert on 4th and 11.
He's working in the intermediate area of the field. The linebackers got to get their depth. He's going to swing out and hook inside. Here he is. Look at the linebacker. You see people standing there? That's Marvin Washington. He's got to get his depth and make Everett have to loft that ball over the top. I mean, 14 yards to go for the 1st down. You got to get depth and make him throw that ball in front.
1st and goal. Mario Bates pushes ahead down inside the 4, maybe to the 3. New Orleans scored on the opening drive of the game, getting a field goal by Doug Bryant. Nothing ever since for either team. It was 7 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. The Saints inside the 5. It'll be 2nd and goal.
And believe it or not, even though the Jets have not been good against the run, they have been pretty good in the red area inside the 20. They're 6th in the AFC at stopping the touchdown. Let's see if it holds up.
Everett throws to Neal. What a tackle made in the open field by who else? Victor Green. Green, a rookie free agent, signed in '93. Got his first start in his career week 3 this season, and what a player he's been.
And the thing about it, you see where they lined him up. They lined up in the little of that 46 defense. He was actually playing a linebacker. But that just goes to show you the combines can measure how far you jump, how much weight you lift, what your body fat is, but they can never measure your heart. And at 5'9", 195 pounds, a free agent, this guy is all heart.
3rd and goal from the 5. Incomplete. Everett wanted a flag, but no flag down on the play early, and Otis Smith got tangled up. So 1st and goal from the 5, and the Saints stall right there. They'll kick a field goal.
But I started at the line of scrimmage right here. He shuffled, played basketball. That's where he took it away. It's gone. And you might want to call it a guess, but Otis Smith knows one thing. He has no help inside. Therefore, he's got to make him throw outside. And he took away the exact route that Quinn Early wanted to run.
See, Bryant is hit on 1 of 3. Ball spotted at the 13, 23-yard field goal try. And Bryant sails it through. So the Saints on their opening drive of the game got a field goal. Opening drive here in the 2nd half. Same tune. New Jersey.
I didn't see much cheering.
Well, you have a point. There hasn't been much of that for either the Jets or the Giants this season. Neither team headed for the playoffs. Saints leading 6-0. Ron Carpenter, or rather Seidner, I'm sorry, from the 17, brings it out to the 31. 5:42 to play in the third quarter, and the Saints lead the Jets 6-0. 6-0 Saints in front of the Jets.
You know, one day I'm going to go down there and figure out how the heck they do that, because I like that.
Mark Herklotz down in our truck downstairs. Herky, and I'll be heading back to Cincinnati.
Maybe.
For Christmas, we hope, after the game today.
He may be right here.
Jets trailing 6-0. Adrian Morrell picks up a couple of yards, but flags down on the field.
Boy, that's Richard Harvey down in there.
Holding against the Jets. And look at that Atlanta score. Jumping out in front of the 49ers.
Holding. 68 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
That's John Bach once again at that center position. He's the center down there. He's working inside. I don't know. It's Christmas. What the heck? See, he's cussing about it all the way back up to the line.
Well, don't tell Bach about it. Of course, Bach, we told you earlier, flip-flopping with Cal Dixon. Right guard and center trading places for this one after some exchange problems had taken place in recent weeks. Flags litter the field. Should be holding again against the Jets as Brister carries out to the 27.
Holding. 68 offense. Half the distance to the goal. Be a 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
Well, you know, that's just another example of the problems this offensive line has had. And we talked about the top of the game. And look at what's happened. And talking to Richie Kotite yesterday, the big problem has been on the right side open. They came into the beginning of the season. Derek Alexander, a starter, injured in the preseason. Hasselrick went AWOL, ultimately got suspended. Malamala injured. And all that's caused is complete disarray and changes and substitutions. And Boomer said that's the number one thing that's just killing his team and really killing him physically.
Kenyon Rashid makes the reception out of the backfield. Late flag comes in. Out across the 20 is Rashid, and some of the Saints get tangled up. On the far side, Brian Jones maybe delivered a late hit. Well, the way things are going for Bach, maybe he wanted a piece of the action.
Bach's a guy that played in the World Football League, the World League of American Football, Amsterdam Admirals. And you know the hard thing about that is that they start training camp in March. So those poor guys that played in that league, you better believe they are well tired by now.
Personal foul for a late hit on number 68 of the offense.
Pull.
Half the distance to the goal line. Still first down.
That is 3 consecutive penalties,
you know,
on John Bach.
I think John Bach is going to get visited by the 3 ghosts tonight, because this is just a nightmare for him. And now the play's over. Bach comes in, makes a block, and he gets bent back over his knee. It happened before that, see, when he came in there to throw that block. You would think on Christmas Eve they would say, okay, Mr. Bach, we're going to let you turn over a new leaf. You've had 2 holding penalties. We're going to let you slide on this one.
First down and 31. And Brister airs it out, overthrowing Wayne Corbett.
I'll tell you what, now we know that Bubby can throw the ball. That was about 70 yards in the air. He let that one fly pretty nice. There is no chance here. And when you don't, Corbett, yeah, he can catch and all that, but he's not going to blow by anybody. It's not even close. And as long as Jimmy Spencer is looking back at the football, he can work that arm just like he did.
Well, if you weren't with us earlier in the day, Boomer Esiason, who has been bothered by the flu the last couple of days, had to leave the game in the second quarter. Bubby Brister has come on to replace him, but nothing going right in this Jets offense, trailing 6-0. Screen to Morrell. Dropped at the 2 by Rufus Porter. Let's send it back to Hollywood, a McDonald's game break, and JB.
Tom Bobby Hebert in for the injured Jeff George. Trips formation. Hebert finds Terrence Mathis for the score. 2-point conversion is no good, but the Falcons are ahead by 1 over the 49ers. Back to Tom and Ron.
That's called the stand right there, baby. They know that is their last stand if they want to get in.
Well, we saw Atlanta last week losing at Carolina with a chance to clinch a playoff berth, and now trying to do it truly the hard way with a victory over the defending Super Bowl champion 49ers. A play a moment ago, the hit by Porter on Morrell, and he has to be helped off the field. Bear in mind again, he missed last week with a pinched nerve in his neck.
But you know what? I hate to bring it up, but guess who missed the block that allowed Rufus Porter to make the play? I think he got a shot to the grill, to the head there. And you know, in defense of John Bach, he played guard last week, and now today he moved to center. And you know, switching like that on the offensive line, that's hard. There's just too many little things that have to be done detail-wise in order to play effectively. It's hard to do.
On a 3rd and 40, Johnny Mitchell is tripped up out to the 12-yard line, so at least a little bit of room for the punter. And we'll see if Brian Hansen returns, as the Bluebirds, at least those that are here, send Brister and company off the field. But Hansen was knocked out of the game on a block punt, twisting his back in the first quarter. And Don Silvestri, how about that average ever since?
If Don Silvestri had enough punt, he could make a bid for the Pro Bowl today. Hey, at least he got it out of there.
And it's spotted out of bounds at the 47. So with 3:05 to play in the third quarter, the Saints will get the football leading 6-0. Giant Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey. 6-0, Saints in front. Well, some cheeseheads have made their way from Wisconsin, perhaps, for the holidays, and no problems at all. Deservedly so. Many of the fans at the game yesterday bashed for throwing snowballs onto the field. The security people here today, they've really beefed it up, done a terrific job, and the fans have responded as well. Mario Bates on a first down carry, picked up maybe a yard. Well, father of the bride, Steve Martin, and Goldie Hawn start
more every week.
Gain of 1 yard, 2nd and 9.
Wow.
Tony Casillas.
They got Casillas to jump off sides, and then while he was offsides, they got him to jump farther offside.
Encroachment. Defense number 92. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
How do you jump offsides again, like when you're already offside?
You'd have to ask Tony Casillas.
Their problems as far as stopping the run have been down there with the defensive tackles. And that's why you see guys like Victor Green as a safety with 170-some tackles. The guy has 11, he's got 12 tackles. He just made one. He's got 12 tackles today, and we're not even in the fourth quarter. Whenever you go over 10, you're having a great day. This guy could go up to 18.
Flags again litter the field, and the Jets think it's New Orleans this time.
Prior to the snap, false start on number 60 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
That's Nowitzki. He's stepping in for the injured Jeff Ulenik at center for the Saints. He figures everybody else is going off sides, holding all that stuff. I might as well get in on it too.
The centers have been the centers of attention for drawing yellow flags today. Bach for the Jets, and now Nowitzki for the Saints. So a 2nd down and 9. Bates stonewalled at the line of scrimmage, led by Lewis along with Casillas and a host of other New York Jet defenders.
When Ronnie Lott was here, he said that if this organization let Mo Lewis play like he can play, he could be another LT. And I'm not so sure that that isn't true, because Mo Lewis is just like, what, the best player you've never heard of, the best linebacker you never hear about.
Third down and 7. Lewis and the Jets defense need a stop. Everett throws, and it's behind the intended receiver, Torrance Small, and again, terrific coverage by Victor Green.
Here's a guy that they ask him to make all the tackles. Then they lock him up in man-to-man coverage, and he covers. How valuable is this guy? He's limping, too. In fact, he was limping in the 2nd quarter.
Seidner stands back at his own 10, awaiting the Wilmsmeyer punt. Fair catch called for at the 11. 35-yard punt by Wilmsmeyer. Jets trailing 6-0. 47 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Well, Jim Mora, in his 10th season, the all-time winningest coach in Saints franchise history, 90-68 during the regular season. When Mora arrived in '86, the Saints had never had a winning record. And you see what he's done since then, 4 times to the playoffs.
And I asked him yesterday, defensively, what's been the problem? And one of the problems has been a change in defensive coordinator. Steve Sidwell left last year, and they've had to replace him, and a couple injuries happened, and now you've got a big problem in your defense, and that's what they had in the beginning of the year.
Sacked is Bubby Brister by Joe Johnson. I'm not sure Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer could provide a light to guide this New York Jets offense.
And the thing that really kills you in all this, you know, you look at the first downs, the rushing yards, it's that right there. Because no matter how well you're playing everywhere else, if you keep turning it over, you're going to have a hard time winning.
On the ground, Morrell back into the game, and he's out to the 7. It'll bring up 3rd and close to 14 on what should be the final play of the 3rd quarter, and that it will be. So Rich Kotite hoping in the final 15 minutes his offense can get a jump start. End of the 3rd quarter, Saints in front 6-0. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages from your local Fox station. Stadium, you know, being so close to Broadway, you'd think Ron might want to do a little acting, maybe slide on our NFL on Fox Santa Claus hat, and yet you're playing the role of Scrooge.
I thought about doing it, but you know what? You'd actually look much better in this. You really would.
Not really. Your head's a lot bigger.
We'll flip for it. It wasn't at the beginning of the season.
3rd down and a mile again for Brister and the Jets. And broken up by Jimmy Spencer. Wayne Krebet, the intended target. Let's again go back to Hollywood and James Brown.
Tom and Ron, watch this nightmare. Tom Hutton of the Eagles punched the ball. Dennis Lundy just activated from the practice squad for the Bears. The ball hits his heel, recovered in the end zone for the score by the Eagles' Jerome Henderson. Bears nursing a 3-point lead. Back to Tom and Ron.
Of course, Chicago hoping for a win and a little help, and then there you see the AFC picture.
Boy, you go back to that Chicago deal. Somehow, some way, it's like they're trying to find a way to drop that game. It's amazing.
Silvestri punting out of his own end zone. It's a good kick away again against the wind this time.
Against the wind.
Tyrone Hughes breaking it to the outside.
Carpenter's got to get him, yeah.
And pushed out of bounds inside the 35 at the 34 after a 46-yard punt. But a 17-yard return by Hughes. From Central Park, looking south on Manhattan. That pretty much does it all. Oh, goodness.
Oh, wow. They throw up.
That's pretty rough. But the fans have been terrific today.
Sure have.
You know, we keep bringing this up, but it was such a huge story here in the New York metropolitan area today. The snowballs fired onto the field during the Chargers-Giants game yesterday. Chargers officials claiming that officials wanted to stop the game. And the NFL flatly denying that that was the case, that the game was never in danger of a forfeiture. But it was a very ugly scene here at Giant Stadium yesterday. The good news for the Chargers, despite being hit with a lot of snowballs, they go back to the AFC playoffs.
Right. And the interesting thing about the Chargers, for a warm weather team, they play pretty darn good in cold weather in big games, don't they?
Sure do. Everett up top, has a man and overthrows it.
They got a flag down, and I don't know. It should be a pick play by the Saints.
Wesley Wall's wide open, and you're right, Ron Pitts.
They tried to run Victor Green and Aaron Glenn into each other, did a pretty good job of it. And boy, the Dolphins in the early 80s, Marino's first couple years in the league when Duper and Clayton were there, they were masters at the pick play.
Offensive pass interference on number 83. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Now they're going to get Torrance Small for this. He'll be right here, but I want you to watch everybody else. Yeah, see, what they do, they call him for blocking. He's pushing, blocking, and then it's a pass play. And you saw Walls try to go up the sideline, so that is a form of a pick as well.
Second down, and Jim Everett to throw. Misses Michael Haynes. Good coverage by number 45, Otis Smith.
The throw is one thing for the Saints, but the reason they're in that throwing mode on second down and have been consistently in the second half here is because of an 8-man front by the Jets. And the guy they're using as that 8th man, of course, you can guess it, is Victor Green.
Third down and 10. Or I'm sorry, third and 18 after the penalty a moment ago. And here they come after Everett. They pick it up. And Everett has Haynes. Broken up at the last minute by Ron Carpenter. Little pushing and shoving going on down near the line of scrimmage. Wilbur Marshall. We haven't called his name today until now.
Ron Carpenter, 26. He's actually beat. He'll be inside. Smith helping out. And he got lucky. Haynes should have caught that ball. Right here. Let's see if Haynes looks like he has a clear shot to catch it. That ball went right through his hand. And Carpenter never got his hand around and touched Haynes.
And Carpenter last week on a Steve McNair touchdown pass to Chris Sanders had it hit him in the head.
Yeah.
He's lucky that ball did not hit him in the head.
Carpenter must be living right.
Not too much time apparently had expired prior to the Wilmsmeyer punt. And we'll have to do it all again.
We're going to pick the flag up on the play. We had a skirmish between two players that we broke up at the end of the down. There'll be no foul. Fourth down.
Skirmish.
And Rich Kotay wondering, well, if that was the case, why was time running off the clock? So now Wilmsmeyer will drop back to punt. Very short kick. Seidner clear catches at his 16, 27-yard boot. 13:44 to play. 6-0 Saints. Fans have stayed around. Maybe a little divine intervention needed to get this New York Jets offense started. 6-0 Saints in front. 13:44 to go. And this will be the final game for each of these teams this season. The Jets headed nowhere in the AFC playoff picture. Likewise for the Saints in the NFC. First and 10, and Brister to throw. Connects with Kenyon Rashid out to the 21.
Well, here's a look at what pressure does for you. Absolutely nothing. And the hurries is the big thing. The sacks, they've only got 2 sacks, and that hasn't been the killer. It's been the hurries. Because the hurries have meant deflections and bad passes and balls that are underthrown, overthrown, tipped, intercepted.
Second and 4. Morrell finds a hole and is shoved out of bounds at the 34. Carry good enough for a first down. Adrian Morrell grew up in Hawaii. They nicknamed him Hawaiian Punch in his days at West Virginia.
He talks about his father and how good of an athlete he was. His father is an Air Force pilot, and he says, I couldn't beat him in the 40-yard dash until my senior year. It's kind of like me and Elijah. I couldn't beat him until my senior year in high school in a race, in a 40-yard dash.
And even then there was a dispute.
Quite the dispute. I had to go to electronic timing.
Brister to Morrell, spins away from a tackler, gets a couple of extra yards out to the 41. .12:10 to play. And the Saints lead the Jets 6-0. We've been told that San Francisco has jumped back in front of Atlanta 24-22 in the fourth quarter. Atlanta has to win to get into the playoffs. Kenyon Rashid on a second down is close to a first down, out to the 43.5. Needed to get just beyond the 44. And he's short.
Funny talking to Kotite the other day about his boxing. He spent some time at the University of Miami and was a heavyweight champion of the school at one time. And he says, yeah, my father used to manage boxers, and he used to spar with some pretty good ones. In fact, Richie Kotite used to spar with Muhammad Ali, at that time named Cassius Clay.
Third down and a yard. Oh, very close. And apparently not enough for a first down. Stepping up and making the play, the rookie out of Washington State, Mark Fields.
I don't think it's even close. They just stepped up. Watch the pursuit here. And really Fields, 55. They tried to run the cutback play. He's there. Israel Stanley is also there to make the play. That's a quick read, an awful quick read by a young linebacker.
Oh, we'll call it 4th and a yard. The Jets from their own 43. Pass, play fake. Brister in trouble. Throws, catch made by Morrell, but well shy of the first down. Joe Johnson there to make the stop.
What a stiff arm that Grubby Brister gave the pass rushing lineman on that play. Tyrone Hughes. Hughes came in. That wasn't a lineman, that was Hughes. Watch it here. There's Hughes coming off the corner right there. Watch the stiff arm he tries to get him just to be able to get rid of this ball.
The beat goes on for the Jets offense. Saints get the ball back following the Jets failing on 4th down. And really good field position for Jim Everett and company at the Jets 38. Try to burn some time. Mario Bates maybe picks up 2. Well, it's Thomas Hayden Church. 39 yards to get to 1,000 for the season. He has 42 thus far. So 47 short. Irv Smith, first down, still on his feet, all the way to the 14.
Nice play action. Irv Smith that time, faking the block, leaking out. But it's all because of the action in the backfield, and they don't secure the perimeter outside. He'll work to this side. He's over here. And just a quick play action fakes the base. And once again, Victor Scott's got to come down and making another touchdown-saving tackle, possibly.
Well, we're going to be interrupted as a fan has raced out into the field. We're not going to show you that fan. We talked at the top of the telecast today about the New York Jets and the fact that depending on what happened here today, along with Jacksonville, each team coming in at 3-12, Jacksonville is losing, the Jets are losing, and if they both lose today, Jacksonville would get the #1 pick in the draft, but the Jets, #2.
That's an interesting thing, too, because now the decision is the talent coming out of college has dropped. That's the overall consensus from everybody in the NFL. And do you spend the money there, or do you wait and try to get yourself a free agent? That's the dilemma everybody has.
Well, you talked about some of the names often that come up when you look ahead to next year's draft, and well, there you see a few anyway.
Right, but you know, like we talked about with the combine and the testing that the league goes through, and we use Victor Green as an example, a guy, free agent. You know, you don't know what you got until the guy lines up in war, okay? You can test him and he can jump great, run great, but you never really know what you got till you got to line up and play with him.
Wide open in the end zone, touchdown Wesley Walls. So our first touchdown of the day comes with 8:17 to go.
And Wilbur Marshall had the coverage there, and Wilbur gave him a nice shot. And look at the eyes of Everett. Walls works to the corner. Jim sees him right off the bat. He beats Wilbur Marshall. And then they do some slipping and tripping in the end zone there.
And
they got a flag.
Yep, late flag came in.
I think that might have come from Wilbur Marshall.
After the touchdown, on number 85 in the offense for taunting. The 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
Well, I saw Wilbur Marshall give Walls a shot when he came back after the play, but apparently Walls talked a little trash to him over there in the corner after the catch.
So the touchdown will stand. You heard Larry Nemmers. The penalty will come when the Saints kick it off. And now New Orleans will elect to go for 2. With a 13-0 lead, they'll try and make it a 15-point spread if they convert. Everett has it batted down by Aaron Glenn. So the 2-point conversion fails. It stays a 13-0 game. So we'll be back to the Meadowlands. 8:17 to play.
They caught the first guy. They caught the first blow. Now Walls mouthed off and he taunted Wilbur Marshall. Watch what he does to Wilbur Marshall on the way out of here. Look what he's doing with the ball. He's like, come on out here so I can spike it in your face. Talk some more. And he caught him all the way. Finally, the first guy got caught.
Don Orr, the field judge, had it all occur right there in front of him. So Doug Bryan will have to kick off
from darn near his own goal line.
Yeah, at the 15. And the Jets offense needs all the help it can get.
They sure do.
Trailing 12-0 with 8:17 to go.
They ought to put Lubin Fatty back there and let him return the ball.
Well, he might get another chance.
Get it, Lou.
Nope. Seidner able to pick it up after it was juggled by Carpenter, and Seidner breaks it down the sideline, tripped up at the 35. He nearly broke it for a touchdown. Derek Ned, the man to bring him down.
You know, a lot of times what happens when a ball is dropped, it makes the covering team relax. And now the return scheme is completely off. Seidner is just freelancing. And he does a pretty good job of freelancing. He almost freelances to the end zone. Great block that time by Marshall. He stays on his feet.
35 yards on the return by Seidner. 1st and 10 at the 35 of the Saints. Brister in trouble. Down he goes at midfield. Rufus Porter on the sack. 3rd sack by the Saints defense today.
Porter will be on the other side of the line of scrimmage. And the penetration, the outside rush, there he is right there. The outside rush on the perimeters, the speed rushers, has been the biggest problem for this offense. Like we said, that all goes back to the injuries early on, and Ciapelli Malamala, they lost him. They were counting on him a lot. Hasselrig, we know about his antics.
Strike thrown in there, and Yarborough a nifty move, getting back to the original line of scrimmage to the 35, so it'll bring up 3rd down and 10, and clearly this is a 4-down territory for the Jets.
So now they're back up where they were, where they took advantage of that field position with the return. But boy, they're doing it the hard way. They're taking the long road to the end zone, that's for sure.
Third down and 9. Babette tries to sneak to the 25. It's where he needed to get for a 1st down, and he's very close.
Well, we don't have to debate on whether or not they're going to go for this one.
No. Well, at the end of this game, Ron and I will select the Miller Lite player of the game. Well, the Jets and Rich Kotite will spend the timeout when we return. 4th and 1. By Bill McCoy, the Associate Director Ray Smoltz III, and our broadcast associate Greg Scopatoni. Dick Bossing, our statistician, the counselor Terry Kane, our spotter, Jimmy Allen also working on stats. And here's the 4th down and 1 play for the Jets. And Brister over the top does pick up a 1st down. Jets still a fighting chance, under 6 minutes left. Inside the 15 is Yarborough. Another Jets 1st down.
Yarborough on the drag, and that referee there, he got completely wasted. Yarborough's going to come around from the top of the screen all the way underneath. And look at the time and patience of Bubby Brister to sit in there and wait. And a good job of knowing where the marker is by Ryan Yarborough.
That's the umpire, Al Conway. First and 10 for Brister. And he just throws it away. Brister has hit on 14 of 22 since coming on for the ill Boomer Esiason. Esiason had to leave in the 2nd quarter, been bothered by the flu the last couple of days.
Wow, there's a guy that's had 3 head coaches. He's been through his coaching.
Short drop. The ball batted at the line of scrimmage. So it brings up 3rd and 10 for Brister and the Jets.
No chance at all. Tyrone Leggett, perfect bump and run, but once
14-yard line. Johnny Mitchell the reception down to the 8. Shy of the 1st down, so another 4th down for the Jet offense. Well, they have 2 timeouts left. And they're going to huddle up despite the fact that we're now less than 5 minutes to go in the game.
Boy, that's a long play he called in there. He's in that huddle for a long time.
Brister drops it off, and close to a first down is Yarborough. Needed to get just inside the 4. And I don't know, the spot moved back maybe about 1.5 feet, and the Saints defense saying he didn't get there.
Willig 77, he's over there doing some complaining, trying to say it's a bad spot. Willig, there's a guy that in '92, when he first came into the league, he was a defensive lineman. He was moved over the offensive line. 6'8", 317.
Well, this is pretty much the game if you're a New York Jets fan.
And that's well short. Just working down underneath the linebackers. The play is completed. But Yarborough is not able. See, Yarborough, the mistake he makes when he catches the ball, he's got to go north. When I say north, we mean up the field. He dances 1 or 2 steps more, and when you're dancing down there in a tight area like that, the Sharks are coming. That time the Sharks eat him up and keep him from getting the first down.
Well, the Saints leading 12-0, content to just try and burn the clock.
Well, you know, here's what we talked about in the beginning of the game of what the Jets had to do to be successful. And first of all, neutralize the outside pass rush. They didn't do it. And the turnovers, that was the big key.
Well, the Jets trailing 12-0, 4:15 to go. Timeout on the field. Back in a moment. 12-0, Saints in front. 4:15 left to play. Mario Bates, unless he breaks the big one, is not going to reach 1,000 yards this season. Bobby Houston there to trip him up.
Talking about the Saints, what they had to do, you know, they had to go against the run. And that was going to be the thing that was going to make them be successful because the Jets were having so much trouble stopping the rush. They didn't get off to the kind of start that they had hoped to, but they did enough to kind of open up the passing game later on, and they kept Carpenter from not returning the ball at all. He's had no returns for the special teams, and he led the NFL. The turnovers have just hurt the Jets. That's been the big key.
Irv Smith makes a reception and gets a New Orleans first down. You see the scores around the league. 2:24 to go. Chicago leading Atlanta minutes, and again, Atlanta had to win today, still has to win, trailing San Francisco by 5. Chicago needed the Atlanta loss along with a victory over Philadelphia. It's not as though the Eagles didn't have anything to play for, because an Eagle win with a Dallas loss tomorrow night at Arizona, and Philadelphia would be NFC East champions. And we talked about Minnesota and St. Louis.
Well, you talk about that AFC. You know, it's tight, but that road to the Super Bowl goes through Kansas City, without a doubt.
Dropped in the backfield. Tony Casillas stopping Bates right there. With the same people each and every week. And we've had a terrific time as Brister has dropped back at the 39. Fourth sack of the day by the Saints defense. But everyone has done such a terrific job bringing you the pictures, the sights, the sounds, and the NFL on Fox. Been a fun year, my partner Ron Pitts.
Yes, it has, pal. I'll think about you a lot in the offseason.
I'll see you up
in Palm Springs. Yeah, we got some things to do out there. Like 9 holes, 18 holes.
Tackle made out at the 43. Morrell dropped right there by Leggett.
And the best thing about it is Elijah can show you how to golf, because you know he's got the best form in the business.
Well, I have a feeling your father, Elijah Pitts, of course, the assistant head coach to Marv Levy in Buffalo. They're looking ahead to the playoffs. Can the Bills get back once again to the Super Bowl? Brister slides down at midfield for Jim Mora. We talked about earlier, he has 1 year left on a contract as Porter is shaken up. But getting back to Mora, 1 year left on a contract. He's not been given any indication by the owner, Tom Benson, as to whether or not, well, he knows he'll get paid. He just doesn't know whether or not he'll be the head coach. But Jim told us, you brought it up, he's figuring business as usual. No reason to think he won't be back.
Right. He said that Benson has not told him that he won't be back next year. And as far as he's concerned, he's still got a year left on the contract, and it's business as usual. But the most interesting statements about whether or not he'll be here next year come from the players. And they all say the same thing, is we want him back. It's not his fault. And Jim Dombrowski, the guard, stepped up last night and said, you know, there comes a point when the players got to take responsibility for a guy, okay, for mistakes, for the team, because it is the players' team. We can talk about a general manager, we can talk about a head coach, we can talk about assistants, we can talk about people all over the organization, but by the time the ball's kicked off, the guys on
4th down, and getting the first down is Adrian Morrell. Season as the head coach of the New York Jets, a 3-13 record. We talked about Jim Mora. What about the future of Boomer Esiason in a New York Jet uniform?
Yeah, the future of Boomer is he better see some people in that front line that can protect him, because at his age, concussions are nothing to mess around with. I mean, this year has taken a year off of his playing career, I guarantee you. There's only so much a guy can do, and he was very upfront with us last night. He said there needs to be some changes made on this team from a personnel standpoint and from everywhere else.
And Jim Mora basically said the same about his New Orleans Saints ball club. They need to go out and improve defensively. That was certainly the real strong suit of those terrific Saints teams, late 80s, early 90s.
But whether or not players have left there that deserve to leave there and all that, and you look at what they've lost from a defensive standpoint, you talk about the Ricky Jacksons, the Swillings, the Morton Andersons, the Brett Maxeys, the Sam Mills. Whether or not they deserve to go, it gets down to one thing, and that's, do you have the money to pay and go out and replace guys when you lose them? If you lose a big-timer, you got to go replace them.
Well, for Ron Pitts, I'm Tom Brenneman saying so long from John.